Hi everyone, this video reviews the 3 constructions we did in Chapter 3 in regards to parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, the first construction we did said to construct a line that's parallel to a given line through a point that's not on the line. So essentially what we want to do if we have line A and point B is create a line that goes through point B that looks parallel to A. So this is what you would be given on a question. Okay, and we saw sometimes in class it's more complicated within a triangle. The first thing we want to do though is draw our transversal. So use your safety compass as a straight edge. And you can draw your transversal, making sure that it intersects the line and goes through your point B. Okay, a transversal is a line, so we want to put arrows at the end. Okay, and now we're ready to start. When you are ready, take your compass, and the gold piece goes on this bottom intersection. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to label all of the points, but sometimes in the problem they tell you certain points and certain things that you need labeled, so you need to pay attention to that. I'm also going to color code mine like I've done in class. So we talked about 2 rules here. 1, working up our transversal, and 2, alternating arcs. So for my first arc, I'm going to pick a size that just intersects both of them. And then of course I'm going to remember what I used. I'm just going to write it up in the top left corner. Okay, you guys will have letters. We started at the bottommost part of our transversal, so now we go up to the next one. Our goal when making this arc, and this one we said in class is very important, try and find a letter that lines up best with the bottommost intersection of the first arc. So you can see mine here looks pretty exact. When you have it, make a small little arc, and once again, write down what you used. Okay, working our way up the transversal, we started here, so now we're starting on point B, and we have to repeat our arcs or alternate them. So I did 113 degrees, and then I did 104. Okay, I'm going to go back to 113 now. I'm going to make a big arc. Remember, you need to make it large enough so that you have this 4th point up here, because that's your next starting point. Okay, and this is how we create our congruent corresponding angle. When your compass is there, go back to whatever you used for your second arc and make a little swoop. If you did it right, you should see those last 2 arcs, the 3rd and the 4th one, intersect. And our last step is to take our compass. Okay, again, take your compass, use it as a straight edge, line it up with B and your intersection point as best as you can, and draw your line. And it should have 2 arrows on the end since it is a line. Okay, the next 2 constructions are very similar to one another. They both ask us to make perpendicular lines. However, for this first one, they want it to go through a point that's on the line. So in the figure that I set up for you here, we have line A, and on line A there is point B. Okay, so our goal is to make a line that's perpendicular to A that goes through B. Once you have it set up, you're going to take your compass and put the gold piece on B, and you're going to make an arc of whatever size you would like. The only rule is we want it to intersect on both sides. Okay, so I see I have an intersection on the left of B and the right of B. When you're ready, gold piece of your compass goes on that left intersection. Okay, what you're going to do is find a letter, and it's almost like when we did the 75% rule for the perpendicular bisector. Find one that goes past B. When you have it, make a big backward C. For this arc, you're also going to remember what letter you used. Okay, or in my case, what number I used. Now go over to the other intersection, and this part's important because look, we have 2 different things on the right. We have where the C intersects, we have where the circle intersects. We want the circle one. You're going to flip your compass around, use the same letter that you just used, and make a big forward C. Remember we talked about whenever we do these C shapes, okay, they always should be the same size as one another. If you did it correctly, you should have an intersection on the top of the line and one below. Take your compass, line up those two intersections, and they should also line up with B. Okay, try and get it as exact as you can. And again, we are making perpendicular lines, so lines should have arrows at the end. Okay, so we have created our perpendicular line that goes through point B. This last construction is essentially the same one that we just did. We're making a perpendicular line, and it's going through a certain point, but now the point is off the line. So we see here point B happens to be above the line. It could be below, and it doesn't have to be centered. It can be a variety of locations. We start off the same way that we just did, which is putting the gold piece of our compass on point B. Once again, you're going to find, and if you turn your compass, and I'll show you here, if you turn your compass so it's facing downwards, this might be a little bit easier for you. Find a letter that when you make a circle, it's going to intersect that given line. Okay, so this all depends on how far B is from the given line. And I'm just going to slide my compass out of the way so you can see. Now, once again, you have two intersections, one that should be to the left of B, one to the right. So we're going to create those two C shapes, one forward, one backwards. Compass goes on the left circle intersection, and we're going to find something that's about 75% of the way through. It doesn't have to be exact. When you have it, you're going to make a backward C, and you're going to write down what letter you used. Again, when we make these forward and backward C's, we always have to use the same letter, keep them the same size, same radius. Now you move to the second intersection, okay, the second place, the original circle, cross the line, and you're going to put your pen or pencil in that same letter and make a big forward C. Again, you should have two intersections. I have one up here and one down here. So you're going to take your straight edge, line up with the point and those two intersections, draw a line through them, put arrows on the end, and we've completed the construction. We have now made a line that's perpendicular to line A, so that means all of these are right angles in here, and it's gone through point B, which we can see in our diagram. Okay, and those are your Chapter 3 constructions.